How everybody doing? This Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. I'm gonna get right to it. A lot's going on in the last week. In transit, trying to be frisky with our time and a half. And last week, when I watched that Zoom, the town hall, the fake town hall, the town hall with the fake Zoom, the town hall where they sent in Zoom. And one thing that stood out at that meeting, that town hall, was when Richard Davies said that he had a great relationship with TWU. And I believe him. I believe him and Richard Davies have a sensuous relationship. I believe they like a couple. We got a lot of them at Transit. Let's tell the truth. One thing about Transit, I give everybody credit. I don't know who the couples are. I don't know who messing with who. That's good. Keep people out your business. But Richard Davies and Richard Davies like that couple that pretends they're not together. And there's no question. And now we also hear with Richard Davies, is that there's allegedly he has sexual harassment charges against him that was brought against him. And if that's true, that means we have an RTO VP who was brought up with charges and the TWU Local 100 president who's either being brought up on charges or was brought up on charges, sexual harassment charges, allegedly, during our contract negotiation. Now, I'm just asking, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? Wouldn't that give Transit leverage in our contract negotiation? You got a VP and the president in situation, and the VP was I don't know which, depending on sexual harassment. We know what Canelo Gomez did at Bedford Park and Brian Davis. But we have a president who went to contract negotiation with a cloud over his head. That's something that possibly affected the contract negotiation. And all of a sudden, listen, and let me say this about Tramel's last live. He's not making this up. People come to him with this information. So he's not making this up. We have a president who I knew way before all this. He came. He was selected. He wasn't elected. But there's always been rumors. There's an email. It's like a thick email. I don't know how many pages contain about how his reputation in Mastoa. His, like Eric Legal likes to say, his exploits in Mastoa. So our current president, our selected president, came here with baggage. We didn't have that. There's political differences I have political differences with a lot of people. Samuelson and Utano. But there wasn't that baggage. There wasn't issues with them. There wasn't there wasn't these moral issues with them. Richard Davies is a question mark. Now when you juxtapose that with our contract negotiation, what Canelo Gomez did, and what they trying to do with our time and a half, why don't they leave us alone? Why don't they stop being hypocrites? Why don't they stop having town hall meetings and sending out weekly letters? When all they keep trying to do is put their foot on our necks. But the question is this. How is they going to establish, remember in the contract, I'm going to read it, this gain share, this employee variability. How is this going to be achieved? And Richie Davis agreed to it. Where's this mock outrage now? You signed the paperwork. But this is what was in the contract. The parties commit to achieve an average employee variability improvement of 5 days. Current availability is 196 days, excuse me. Once the availability reaches 201 days, the parties will implement gain sharing of any additional improvement. In parentheses, it said agreed to by the parties as 50-50 basis, which may include enhanced sick leave cash out for those with good attendance is to be rewarded. Within 60 days of full and final ratification, the parties will convene to discuss gain sharing options that can be implemented once employee availability goal is reached. And that's the key word. How is they going to achieve that employee availability? The union was going to tell us, come to work? How is they going to? The only way they was going to achieve that was for Richie Davis to sign this agreement. How was they going to go from 196 days to 201 days? Transit say, we want employee availability. We willing to pay you for it. So how was it? He had to sign that paperwork. Now he signed paperwork that penalized us for using our AVAs, that penalize us for using vacation. It's a past practice. There was no talk about that before Richie Davy came on the scene. And he came here for Boston to put his foot on our necks. I don't care how many town hall he does, how many crew rooms and depots he visits, how many weekly letters he sent out about this North Star initiative he's trying to get done. He came here to put us on our buses, on our trains, to get us outside our booths, to get us to sweep them platforms. He came here, get to work. So this is what the union did. This is what the union did, these hypocrites. A week prior, Richie Davis at the 911 memorial, honoring our brothers from 9/11, our sacrifice. And this town hall they gave, told me we're going to have food and parties. We don't want your food. We want a fair work environment. We want supervisors to get punished for trying to bully us and impose their will on us. We want a safe environment. Keep your food. We can buy our own food. But and you VPs, it's raining the VP videos now. Y'all didn't know what was going on? We didn't know what was going on because there was no transparency. How would we know what's going on? Any of this, if it's a line pick, there's always something. There's always something that's going on with transit that's hitting us with. There's always something that they trying to, even no matter what happens with this right now, with this situation. Why are we subjected to this? Why are they trying to mess with our money? And let me say this. Transit is in a win-win with this. Because if we don't do it, if they don't get employee availability, and they implement this, they save millions of dollars. They save millions of dollars. That's 4 hours. And they know you're going to work. They know they're betting now, brothers and sisters, is just basically going to work 6 days a week. Without the 8+4 is dead. How much money they saving with that? If you come to work, they win too. So they ain't a win-win. So what does this mean? That means our union sold us out. That means Richie Davis signed this paper, and now they telling us we're fighting. You didn't know that? You signed up? Which one of us don't, adults? We sign everything. We read everything. You have to. This is a man who represents 40,000 plus members. This is our lives. If he didn't know, he's incompetent. If he didn't know what he was signing, he's a straight sellout. And who gains from this employee availability? The union gains. It's a profit sharing on our backs. But they gonna penalize us for taking a vacation? How sick is that? Penalize us for using the AVA? Penalize our brothers and sisters who banked hundreds of sick days? Hundreds of sick days. And when they sick and take a few days, if they take 3, they don't have a right to work overtime. This is the company we're working for. This is the leadership that we have. And now let's talk about, the sexual harassment charges over Richie Davis's head. I don't want nobody. Listen, everybody here, every man is faced with temptation. Every man, is, 5-1 down here. In addition to the fact that some of us are married, in addition to it's wrong, in addition to you get in a relationship that, you friends with we friends with folks down here, and we know once we get intimate, it's going to change the whole dynamic of the situation. In addition to, how it complicates relationships down here, and our life experience tell us it's better not to. We know there's a lot of relationships down here. We got married folks down here who met down here, got married and have beautiful families and beautiful relationships. I could dig it. And I've been in situations where the energy's there. The rapport is there between a man and a woman. I've been there. There are women that I liked, and I know we meshed. But I'm a married man. But even if you want to go, who's without sin? Anything's possible. You don't want to go that bad. But you are a leader. You're supposed to set an example. You're not supposed to, you and a lot of folks, not just this union, not just here at Trans-America, use their position to exploit our sisters who come to them for help. Exploit our sisters who confide in you. And you know that they're vulnerable emotionally. And they're looking up to you. They're looking up to you as men. They're looking up to you, people that you respect. And they're looking up to you as a leader. Of someone who they come to for help. Someone who you are in the position of trust. And we got people abusing that. Exploiting our sisters. Predators. You hear about that a lot in buses. You hear about that. And you can't get a woman of your own volition. I'm not even talking about you're married. I'm not talking about you in a committed relationship. I'm talking about you just a man, dispatchers, supervisors too. You just a man trying to use your position to bully people, coerce women, take advantage, sexually harass, in some cases sexually abuse. I don't want a man like that representing me. If it ain't true, I didn't hear things about Utano. I didn't hear things about Samuelson. I wasn't here when Toussaint was here. I don't think I ever heard things such as that about Toussaint. But we have a president who has serious allegations against him and who has a reputation floating around. There was this email that went around that literally listed his body count. How many women he's been with. How many women that he appointed to position based on alleged sexual favors. I don't want a man like that leading me. I don't want an individual like that, man or woman. If it was on the other side, gender equality, and we had a woman who was going after men like that, or young boys, or taking advantage of folks. I don't want a woman like that. I don't want a man like that leading me. And this is where we at. I think y'all made a mistake at selecting. Maybe it was Chiarello. Maybe it was Rich. No, I wasn't with y'all. But maybe it was somebody else. There was a lot of candidates to be selected who was capable of succeeding former President Utano, who didn't have this baggage. And then you put that with what happened with Canelo Gomez, where instead of him saying no comment as an instinct, just as a reflex, a response, no comment, that's what I had to say. He went and added commentary that Trammell threw a punch. There was no fairness there. There was no leadership. There was no discernment there. So we got problems. We were sold out during this contract negotiation. Bare minimum. Transit didn't sit down in good faith because we had the president and the VP who had pending investigation and charges against them. We went to that negotiations with our hand ties. And UVPs, stop. Stop with the videos. And I like y'all too. But stop with the videos. And I know y'all got the cover for Richard Davis. This is the VPs covering for Richard Davis. Their signatures ain't on that document. It's Richard Davis's signature on that document that gave away our time and a half, our 8+4. Now we just working 6 days a week with absolutely no incentives. And those who are financially in a situation where they don't have to do OT, don't do OT. Maybe transit should think about, when they think about employee availability, maybe they have environment where now folks are in line at a record pace trying to retire. A lot, y'all see it all around, a lot of good folks are retiring. Maybe if transit didn't fight our brothers and sisters when they get hurt, and some of them who have some time just leave, just retire because go out on discipline, because they medically terminated, because transit sent a team of lawyers to fight them, because they're trying to get procedures, because they got hurt on transit property on the job. They have an expectation that, like everybody else, that their employer, if they get hurt, will support them. Not here. They find them. Maybe the new people would stay if they've tried to do something about this petty. And don't get this wrong. What transit doing is petty. This is a petty agency we work for, run by petty people. Why? They promote petty people. Everyone knows they promote the work supervisors. Everybody know. Everybody know. They don't give a damn about us. Excuse me for cursing on Sunday. But they don't care about us one bit. And this union and this leadership shows, this is another example. It's going to be, I told you it's going to keep coming. I told you at 125th Street, where we got to tell customers where they can't stay. The adjacent flagging. This. You don't see it? The contract, the ink ain't even dry on the contract. We just took over our mask. Really. Might have to put them back on from what I hear. Transit don't give a damn about us. Transit don't care a damn about their workforce. We're dirt under their nails. We just working class mode to them. This, everything that goes on, excuse me, this ain't a coincidence. We have to get rid of this union leadership. We have to get rid of all these folks that are doing nothing for us. We got to come out in MOW. I know how you feel these days. Vote. Tony Utano's not there. You have no allegiance to Richard Davis. RTO, this election, vote. If you don't get your ballot, call for your ballot. Don't leave it on your table. Don't lick it and close the envelope and leave it sitting on your couch, in your bedroom, wherever you put your mail. Vote. Stations, you know this station leadership is a joke. You know that. Every division knows right now. Right now. that this union leadership is a joke. And transit just keeps coming after us. They should be ashamed of themselves that they put conditions on time. I don't care if it was in the contract. They know now. They signed the agreement, and the union has to pay up. Union, you got to bring some. You got to make them work. They're gonna come to work. You're coming to work. If you want some money, and we know you want the money, you come to work. You can't even get sick no more. You can't catch the flu. You can't get diarrhea. You can't get anything that you need the rest of. Lord, God forbid that you in bed 2 days and you say, man, let me make sure. Something tell me, just make sure I'm well enough to go to work. I need this extra day that you earned. And they pay, your sick days mean nothing. How do your sick days mean anything and they penalizing you for being sick? How do your vacation mean anything? And when you take vacation, they gonna penalize you. How your AVAs mean anything and you being penalized for taking days off that you earned? How sick and perverse is that? The only thing sicker than transit coming to us with this foolishness is Richard Davis signing that document. We in trouble. Richard Davis with everything. Just think about everything. All the rumors and innuendo about him. About him. I've never seen anything like that. He brought so much baggage with him from Matt Stower, from his VP position. And he's compromised us. He has showed us nothing that was presidential. Nothing. And the crazy thing, they doing more marching, protesting with SAG than they did with us doing contract negotiation. That's crazy to me. We didn't see Samuelson doing our negotiation. They compromised us. It's unforgivable what they've done to us and what they allow transit to do to us. The weakest union in the city. And we'll talk about, we'll talk about something else tomorrow or Tuesday. I ain't gonna talk. Let's keep this about Richie Davis and him selling us out. And his soiled reputation that he should not have. And let me say, let me add this. If I wanted to sleep with all these women here, and we got beautiful women here, I would not let it, forget the marriage. That's enough. But I would not want any of you to look at me in a certain kind of way, thinking any thoughts about me saying that Drummond is a dog. Drummond is a predator. Drummond takes advantage of women. I would not want that. That would be enough. I care what you think about me. That would be enough to curtail my behavior. That rabid beast in me. My horniness. That would be enough. But let me end with this for transit. Look, this is James chapter 5 verse 4. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. So our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, have us and Jehovah have us. I believe. Right is right. Right is on our side. God is on our side. Everybody be safe and take care.